Hey, this is Joseph from Worship Guitar Basics. I've been getting a lot of requests over the past couple of months to do a walkthrough of my pedal board and sounds. So here we are. So what we'll do today, I'll first walk through each pedal. My signal chain will go each pedal on and off. And then I'll play a couple songs in context so you can get an idea of how the sounds actually sound. So before we get going, I'm playing my Gretsch Power Jet. So I got the Power Jet and then swapped the pickups out for the Filtertrons. So basically I made myself a hybrid duo jet, but I get the pin bridge and the locking tuners from the Power Jet that I wanted. I'm also playing through my Kemper. So normally I'd be playing through the profile that I made of my Mesa Boogie Express. Today I'm trying out a new profile. It's a Morgan AC20 profile. It's a free profile. I got it from the Rig Exchange. I'll post the link below if you all are interested. So far I'm really impressed with it. So let's jump right in. Alright, so here's my board. So starting out with the signal chain, first I'm going into the Polytune 3. That has the buffer on board, which I really like. I run it so that I can just put the volume pedal down and tune if I need to. Really like that tuner. From there I'm going into the Dunlop, the mini volume pedal, which I really liked. I came from Ernie Ball VP Junior. And I like the sweep better on the Junior for swells and all that, but the footprint was a little bit too big, and I went through like 4 or 5 strings over the past 10 or so years, which is really a pain to change. It felt like I was doing surgery on the pedal every time for hours at a time. So I really like the Dunlop, the volume. It was a little bit of adjustment in terms of the sweep to get used to, but it's been great. From there, I run into the Deluxe Signicomp. This is my always-on compressor. I use it to just add a little bit of sparkle, kind of even out the high end and the low end. From there, I go into the Timmy, which is a pretty transparent overdrive. I'll show how that sounds in a little bit. And then I also have a Full Drive 2 MOSFET, which I've had for many years as well as my other drive. From there, going into the Timeline for delays, and then the Big Sky for reverbs. So let's start out and I'll go through my clean sound. So this is just clean straight into the profile. So that's that. Like I said, I always have the compressor on. So this just adds a little bit of gain, a little bit of sparkle. I like to have them where they're kind of on the edge of breakup so that I have a lot of touch sensitivity. So I can play clean, or I can play a little more overdriven based on how hard I hit the strings and the attack that I use. That's pretty much how I run my drives as well. So I'll show you the Timmy. So first off, this is without. Here's with the Timmy. So it just adds a little bit of gain there. And again, I always try to stick to that touch sensitivity where I can still play cleaner if I want, even with the pedal on. So I really like that pedal. Moving on, so to the Full Drive 2. So again, here's the clean tone. So I like that as well. Usually I'll use the boost if I'm doing kind of a lead part that I really want to stick out. I'll show you that in a little bit. From there, I have the Timeline, just a regular. Have have that set, I believe, at $1.08, and I'll play a couple songs in a second. And then I have the Big Sky. So I've been making presets for this recently, and so I have a cloud preset, a room, a hall, a bloom, and some swell presets that I'll run through here in a second that I've been really liking. So with that said, we'll go ahead and jump into a couple songs just so you can hear how this sounds. Alright, so this is Raise a Hallelujah. So that's my cloud preset, and the way I run my reverb presets, I usually have a 1, a 2, and a 3 that progressively gets more mix and adjusts other parameters so that doesn't get too muddy or anything like that, like pre-delay and other tone shaping like that. So let's go through another song. Alright, so this is Sea of Victory. And you can see sometimes I'll use the boost just for like turnaround parts, stuff like that from the full tone. And that also, I was using I have it's an ice delay on that to kind of give it a nice pog type sound. You kind of hear the octave on that and just a bloom reverb that I've been using. So I'll do one more. We'll do King of My Heart. Couple things to note on that too. The more in general, the more gain that I add, the less reverb, or the more I'm going to back off the reverb. And so for the intro, I was using a lot of reverb. When you're playing slower, less gain, it can fill the space more. And then when I went to the latter part, I backed off the reverb, and the way I've set up the reverb presets really allow for that, which is great. The last thing I want to show is just a couple swells that I have. So I set up a swell, a cloud swell that I like to use. Also have a shimmer swell, which does kind of more pad type stuff. last one is one of my favorites. I like to call it a dirty swell, and so there's a lot of I don't know if it's overtones or whatever you call it, but you'll hear what I mean here. And the harder that you do the attack on that, the more it gives you. And so what I actually like to do is use this for a lot of tremolo picking. And that can get away from you pretty quickly, but as long as you kind of modulate that with your volume pedal, works out well. All right, so that's pretty much it on my pedal board setup. Any questions, please post them below, and we'll see you next time.